Hello, welcome to day 4 of Rock the R. I'm Lindsay Hochul from Speechy Things. I'm really excited to have you guys here. And we'll have Kristin here any second. She's actually joining us from Belize. She's over there right now. I think doing some, well, she's with her family, but I think she's also doing some speech stuff. I could be wrong. Let me see if I can find her. Just some housekeeping items. Please don't remember to sign up for our freebie. If you go to speechythings.com/rock-the-r-freebie, then it's my dad. No, I'm live. My dad's staying with us. Hi from Australia. That was so funny. Sorry. Let's see if I can add her. No. Here we go. So I'm hoping this works out because I know her Wi-Fi is spotty. I'm sorry, y'all. Invite. All right. Anyway, so be sure to sign up for the freebie. I know Kristin is going to add something. And yeah, this live will be saved on my feed afterwards, and I'll also have it posted. I've been recapping everything and having, like, adding links that we mention every night, and all the other lives in my blog post. I do a new blog post every day for this. So access the freebie. How do you access the freebie? If you sign up for it, then I'm going to be emailing it out on Monday. So this coming Monday, August 8th. Yay! Okay, Kristin should be here any second. Any minute now. We're going to talk about growth mindset, which I'm so excited about. Oh, wait. Let me see. I think it just meant she joined, not that she was. Oh, no, Kristin, it says you can't join. Oh, y'all. No bueno. I'm so sorry. Hold on. Again, she's in Belize, and she was so nice to take time out of her vacation. Oh, good. I was so worried.
Hi. Oh my gosh, clear off this camera here.
I invited a couple times and it said that you couldn't join, and I was about to have a little tiny panic attack.
I'm here. Okay. Here. Look, I'm like getting eaten by mosquitoes, and there's like weird animals around. So I like brought my dad for backup, like just in case like some iguana.
I love it. You guys, this is Kristin Bowers, who, funny enough, you know, whenever you work for yourself, you don't really have coworkers, right? It gets lonely, but like Kristin's become my favorite coworker. We talk almost every day. I love her so much. She is a Pittsburgher. She has her own private practice and she does Kiwi Speech, but she also has Therapy Marketing Kit. So Kiwi Speech is like her TPT store, therapy resources, Therapy Marketing Kit. She's a design genius, and she helps create marketing materials for SLPs specifically and their private practices. So definitely check that out. She's really great with older kids. She does lots of brain teasers for her resources. She's awesome with growth mindset. What else do I have? I need to gush about you some more. Traveling movies. Yeah. Oh, no, I think those are the most of the things I wanted to say about you.
Aw, thrifty, nifty episode. Oh my gosh, mosquito, sorry.
Okay, I know. Let's just get right to it. I've been trying to keep these short, so let's just jump in unless there's anything you wanted to add.
No. That's it. You did great.
Literally being eaten alive, y'all. So we're going to go fast. Okay. What is growth mindset, Kristin?
So growth mindset is, in short, you know, the true belief that you can improve in something, that you can change, that the skills you have now are not the skills you're stuck with, that you can learn things, that you can change, that you can improve in something, and just a really solid belief that you are able to learn new things, that you are, I think, at a deeper level, if you want to be, you're someone who's bad with names, you know, the belief that you could learn to not be bad with names or that kind of stuff. I think in the non-SLP world, those are some examples I think of. But in the SLP world, it's a student who believes that they can get their R even when they've been working really hard and maybe failing at it for a long time. And then with that comes all sorts of stuff. It's the belief that challenges are a good thing, right? That continuously doing tasks that are easy for us, understanding that those don't help us grow, and taking challenges as a positive, as a opportunity rather than something really frustrating, and kind of leaning into those things that feel hard.
Yes. Yes, yes, yes. And I remember like the first time you ever brought up growth mindset to me, I didn't really get it, I guess. This was like, I don't know, years ago. And I was just like, oh, okay, Kristin, cool. Go make your resources on that. I'm sure it's going to be great. And then, and then I used them and I was like, this is so important. Well, I'm about to skip ahead to the next question, but let me just say it's been huge for some of my R students, especially. Not that I haven't used it with other kids, but dang, that R. So I would love to know, how do you know when, and we're talking about R, so we're going to talk about our kids, but how do you know when an R kid needs to work in that area?
Yeah. So, I mean, whether it's an R kid or not, I think to me, it's very much, it's, when I first started developing it, I had this year where I just had a lot of kids who I felt like really were spending more energy pushing me away and kind of pushing my help away than they were accepting it. And many of these were our kids. There were a lot of the older kids, and I think they had this process of I've been at this for a really long time and nothing's improved. So what now? But I also had, at the time, I was working in a really nice private school, and just in general, a lot of the kids there were really highly intelligent kids. And I think I had more kids that year I felt needed a growth mindset than ever before. And I think it was because a lot of them had always excelled in everything they had done. And R, or whatever speech they were working, was like the first time that someone had said, hey, like, you're not that great at this. Let me help you. And I think they were having a really hard time wrapping their heads around what it was like to not be the best at something, or to not just be whizzing through this. And that was kind of the year I really started to develop the growth mindset curriculum for the kids on my caseload. It was a combination of these incoming kindergartner and first graders who I was the first person who'd ever had to pull them out of school for not being good at something. And then again, the R kids who have been working at it for so long and were just, and so going back to the question, how do you know? I would get a lot of comments from the younger ones where I would say something like, well, I heard this, can you fix it? And they would just flat out be like, well, that's not what I said. There was just this lots of pushing me away, lots of pushing my help away. There didn't feel like there was a solid understanding that I was there to help them. Sorry, my dad just started hacking. He probably inhaled all the mosquito repellent. They're just really.
Both of our dads should join live tonight. My dad just almost walked in. It was so funny. Okay, sorry. Keep going.
Just lots of resistance, pushing away. They just didn't really feel to be on board with, or to believe that they were making improvement. And again, it was mostly through the comments they would make or the attitude they had, and I would see a lot of, you give verbal cues and the next production would come out exactly the same. And you could see it wasn't exactly the same because they were trying and couldn't achieve it. They were just repeating it exactly the same. And it didn't matter what I would say in between. They would just do it the exact same way until their 30 minutes were up, and then they, bail out the door.
Yeah. Another way that I see it kind of manifest, I would say, is like whenever I'm working on auditory discrimination, I mean, this is very similar, but like they'll identify it in me, but in themselves, it's either a total shutdown or they're like, no, it sounded good, like just total denial. And sometimes it could be that they really can't hear the difference, but sometimes I think they're just not ready to admit.
Totally agree.
Yeah. Okay. What are some of your favorite tools, or even like, it could be resources or just like, I don't know, speech mantras, or, I mean, what do you use to help kids with this?
So, the very first thing I really try to do is praise. You know how every now and then, especially with R, right, you give this feedback and you're trying to elicit this R, this approximation, and it comes out not like a W, certainly not like an R, but some bizarre gurgly sound in the back of their throat, right? Because you've told them, oh, get your tongue back or whatever it is. And I really make a big deal about some of those really messy productions and telling them that it was amazing because it was a change. And I really try to reinforce that any change, any difference from what we were doing is improvement. And I'm really celebrating those small steps. So I often have kids who produce those R's that start to sound like an L right in the beginning because their tongue is going back. And then I tell them how we produce an L and how we produce an R and why I will take that L for now. You know, it's part of that shaping and really reinforcing that some of those ones that you had to work the hardest at that sounded in their mind the worst are the best. Because it meant that they tried, right? It meant that they tried something new. It meant that they were moving their tongue, which, as we all know, sometimes it's the freaking hardest thing to get them to do, right? Is to like use their tongue for R. So as long as they're doing that, for a while, I don't care how it sounds. I will give them feedback that they're moving it around, they're learning, they're changing. And, you know, we can't shape a good R if we don't move away from like what the original sound was.
Absolutely. And this makes me... What?
Go ahead.
Sorry. Anytime I open my big mouth, it like, I can't, you know, the weirdness of the sounds. So I'll try not to wait till you're done. Sorry. But I was just thinking, like a rating scale could be good for this, right? Like from 1 to 5 or 1 to 10 or whatever you want to do. And so that way you can show them like, okay, you know, if a 1 is a W, a 3 is eh, and a 5 is a good R, then they can still see their own progress on a scale while also, you know, not lying and saying it's correct. But I mean, but maybe that could work for some kids too.
Absolutely. And I also love how you said, like, even giving them a visual. So I have progress monitoring toolkit in my store that I use a ton, but I love to show them at the end of the year, even if they're only 20% accurate, you know, to be able to go back to the beginning of the year and be like, look, you were 0% accurate at all these sounds and you're 20%. And I know it still feels like you're getting a lot wrong, but look how many more you're getting right. And then being able to see that visually on a chart is always huge. And you can always see them light up with that. So any way that you can show visual progress, I think is always a win.
I love that. And I use Kristin's boom cards quite a bit. They're growth mindset boom cards. And like, it'll have, I think there's like 2 columns. It's like, this is hard for me. This is easy for me. And then 2 activities on the same card.
Yes, exactly. So it'll be like, for example, I like, you know, spending a long time alone. Is this easy for me or hard for me? Or spending a lot of time with other people. And I've really gone through and made sure I wanted to make sure I catered to everyone, right? So some of them are speech related, as you've seen, but some of them are not. So some of them might be like, taking a photo of someone versus drawing someone. Again, I tried to make sure I really hit on lots and lots of different skills. So everybody, no matter what their strengths and weaknesses were, could find some things that they were good at and some things that they were not as good at. And the point of that is really to just look at that growth mindset and show how we do all have different strengths and different weaknesses.
Absolutely. I'll actually like go through it with them and talk about my own, like, oh yeah, that's hard for me. Or really, that's easy for you. That's really hard for me. And just make it so conversational. It is so normal. And everyone has things that are hard for them or easy for them. And it's my job to help you with this. You are not the first kid. You are not the last kid, you know? And actually sometimes, I don't know if this is right or wrong, but I've even told some of my R students before, I'm like, did you know that I've worked with teenagers on this? Like, I've helped a 16 or 17-year-old with the R sound before.
And I love to tell them why R is so hard, you know? Like, I talk about, you know, I often say I work with the oldest kids on R. And here's why. You know, I talk about how we can't see it. And then, you know, I also love to talk about tension with R and how we need that tension because it's such an abstract concept for kids. And so I try to tell them, like, I can see if you're putting your tongue out or in for TH or S or whatever it is, but I can't see visually if you're making your tongue tight. There were a few comments in there, Lindsay, about what those boom decks were called. And there's a few of them, but honestly, if you just go to my Kiwi Speech store on Teachers Pay Teachers and search growth mindset, all of the curriculums and all of the boondocks should come up. That will be probably the quickest and easiest way.
I've been posting these videos to my blog with a recap and like linking things. So y'all go to my website like tomorrow around noon and it should be there.
Yeah, perfect. Oh, thanks, SLP. SLPBing. It's always so hard with SLP in the front.
I know. I mean, I feel like that covers most of it. I know you're getting eaten alive. Are there any like closing thoughts for you?
No, I think just, again, really acknowledging how hard it is and saying like that's a good thing. That's not a bad thing. The other thing I always love to say to kids is when they're starting to get close to reaching like a short-term objective, like initial R in single words, I will say something like, oh my gosh, this is so great. We're already almost reached this goal. Guess what we're going to do? I'm going to make it harder, and that's a celebration of we're going to work harder at it, right? Because I'm not going to have them come in and practice something that's easy. So we talk about what a great thing that is you're doing so well. Guess what? Next week you come in, it's going to be hard again. And that's something to be celebrated. That's a good thing, not a bad thing.
I just saw, I think you also mentioned it, the Thrifty Nifty SLPs comment. They said that they like to share that they went to speech as a kid working on R and they see their students' face light up when they hear that, which I think is just so awesome. Something else I'm going to add really quick. I like to try to relate it back to whatever activity they're in. If they are like if they play an instrument or if they play a sport, I'm like, do you remember when you didn't know how to shoot a basketball or you missed all those shots? You remember how you had to practice that? That's what we're doing.
Yeah, actually, and in that curriculum, because I made a whole curriculum for this because I felt like there were growth mindset resources, but nothing that was specific for speech. And I wanted things that used growth mindset, but used the language of articulation and the language of language therapy that we do. And that's one of the exercises is they go in and talk about things that were once hard for them at home, things that were once hard for them at school, things that were once hard like in sports and activities, and then things that are hard in speech. And they kind of go through this exercise. And again, it's great to do in a group because you see everyone has a different answer for it.
Mm-hmm. I love that. Okay, I think I'm gonna, unless you have anything else, we can do our giveaway.
Yes.
Okay, I have a whole bunch of names. So let's try two numbers between 1 and 20.
14 and what's the second one?
And then what was the other one?
8.
Okay. Chris Fern Gillespie. So Kristin is giving away her growth mindset speech curriculum unit 1 resource, and then also a decor kit. She has awesome decor kits, like bulletin board kind of stuff, and she has one that's all about growth mindset. So
someone asked if it's a fountain they can hear, so I'm going to turn around really quick. Okay. Yeah. Oh wait, it's blurry. Hold on. Yes, there's like a little. I can't get it not to be blurry. Yes, there's a little fountain. There we go.
I know. Wouldn't we all rather be where Kristin is right now? Beautiful.
Can you see the beach? There's the beach.
Well, Kristin, thank you for making time, even though you're on a trip right now. And you guys, please go follow Kristin. Please go check out her growth mindset stuff. I will be linking it in my blog post. But please share this with people because I think every single SLP should know about growth mindset and should be using it with their students, particularly those students who are having a hard time just accepting that they are needing help with something. That's such an easy way for them to shut down, and it just doesn't have to be that way.
Agree. Well said. Well said.
All right. Kristin's also being so kind to include her a growth mindset poster that has like 10 sayings to encourage a growth mindset as a freebie in our Rock the R freebie. So you can also go to my website and sign up for that, speechythings.com/rock-the-r-freebie. And I'll link that in my blog post too. But yeah, go follow her and please share this with some some coworkers, you guys.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you, Kristin. Thank you. Enjoy the rest of your trip.
I will. Stay tuned on stories for all the antics with my children here.
Yeah, follow along on her stories. Her kids are so cute. I love watching this. Tomorrow, you can go if you need to. We have Dr. Farquharson tomorrow at 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. She's Class Lab FSU on Instagram. We're going to be talking about phonetics, and it'll be super interesting. So you should definitely join. And yeah, I'm going to save this to my feed so you can share it with people. And go follow Kristin.
Good night, Lindsay.
Good night. Bye, KB. Thanks, guys. Thank you for joining.